Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt different, like you were meant for something more? Like no matter how much you try to blend in, something keeps pulling you out? That's not a coincidence. That's not random. That's a calling. Some people go through life just existing. They wake up, go to work, come home, watch Netflix, and repeat. No fire, no vision, no sense of purpose. But you're different. You've been marked. And today, I'm going to show you the 7 undeniable signs that you've been chosen for something greater. But listen, being marked doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It means you're going to be tested, stretched, and pushed beyond your limits. The question is, are you ready to rise? 1, you feel a restlessness in your soul. Have you ever looked around at your life and thought, there's got to be more than this? That's because there is. And that restlessness isn't a curse. It's a compass. It's the signal that you're being called higher. Most people ignore it. But you can't. Because you're meant for something greater. 2, you face unusual opposition. Ever notice how the moment you decide to step up, everything seems to come against you? Roadblocks, criticism, fear. That's because pressure produces diamonds. You don't get opposition unless you're carrying something worth fighting for. The bigger the calling, the bigger the resistance. 3, you've survived what should have broken you. Think about it. The things you've gone through, the pain, the setbacks, the betrayals, should have taken you out. But they didn't. You're still here. And that means your purpose is still in motion. You weren't buried, you were planted. 4, you can't settle for mediocrity. You ever try to take the easy way out and something inside of you just won't let you? That's because you weren't built for average. You were built to lead, to break generational cycles, to create impact. That feeling that keeps pushing you, that's your destiny calling. 5. You have a deep desire to help others. People who are marked for greatness don't just think about themselves. They're driven by something bigger. They're fueled by a mission. They want to see others break through. And when you stop focusing on what you can get and start focusing on what you can give, that's when doors start flying open. 6, you get visions, dreams, or strong gut feelings. Ever have moments where you just know something? A dream that sticks with you? A vision of something greater? That's not random. That's your inner guidance system. That's your blueprint being revealed. But here's the deal. You have to act on it. You have to trust that nudge and move. 7, don't you refuse to quit no matter what. You've had moments where you wanted to give up. We all have. But something inside of you just won't let you. That's because you were designed to win. You don't quit because your spirit won't allow it. And that's the greatest mark of all. You keep going. So what do you do now? If you recognize yourself in these signs, it's time to step up. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop letting fear hold you back. You are not here to play small. You've been marked. You've been chosen. And now it's time to rise. Ready? There comes a time in your life when you feel something stirring deep inside you. It's that restless energy, that quiet yet persistent voice whispering, there's more for you than this. You may not be able to explain it to others, but you feel it. It tugs at you in the middle of the night. It distracts you during the day. And no matter how much you try to push it aside, it refuses to be ignored. This feeling of restlessness isn't random. It's not a phase. It's not a mistake. It's a sign that you've been marked for something greater. It's an internal alarm, a wake-up call from within, telling you that you were designed for more than just existing. You were created to make an impact. The reason you feel out of place in a life of routine and complacency is because you were never meant to settle for ordinary. There's a fire in you, and no matter how much you try to suppress it, that flame keeps flickering, waiting for you to fuel it into a full-blown blaze. Most people go through life numb. They wake up, go to work, come home, scroll through their phones, and go to bed, repeating the cycle day after day. They don't question their routines, they don't challenge the status quo, and they certainly don't seek more than what's in front of them. But you can't do that. You've tried, haven't you? You've tried to follow the crowd, to accept what life handed you, but something inside of you keeps saying this isn't enough. There has to be more. That's because there is more. You are wired differently. You are being pulled toward something bigger, something beyond the limitations of your current reality. This restlessness isn't a burden. It's a gift. It's your internal navigation system, pushing you toward your true purpose. The challenge is that most people don't recognize it for what it is. They mistake it for dissatisfaction, anxiety, or even failure. They think something is wrong with them because they can't just be happy with what they have. But here's the truth. That feeling isn't there to frustrate you. It's there to guide you. It's your soul rejecting mediocrity. It's your destiny refusing to let you stay small. The reason you feel restless is that you are meant to grow, to evolve, to stretch beyond your current circumstances. Growth is uncomfortable. Transformation is disruptive. When you're being called to something greater, it often starts with discomfort. It starts with a feeling that where you are is no longer where you're supposed to be. And when that happens, you have two choices: ignore it and stay the same, or embrace it and step into your purpose. But let's be real. Stepping into something greater isn't easy. It requires courage. It requires action. It requires you to be willing to leave behind the familiar and walk into the unknown. And that's where most people hesitate. Fear creeps in. Self-doubt whispers, "Who do you think you are?" You start telling yourself you're not ready, that maybe one day you'll take that step, but not today. But here's the truth. You'll never feel 100% ready. The path to your purpose isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. And the first step is acknowledging that this restlessness is your sign. It's your invitation. It's your moment to say, I'm done playing small. I'm done ignoring the call of my life. I'm ready to step into what I was meant to do. Some of the greatest achievers in history have felt this same restlessness. They knew deep down they were meant for something more, even when no one else saw it. They faced resistance, they faced doubt, they faced failure, but they refused to let go of that inner knowing. They let that feeling of unease propel them forward instead of hold them back. You have that same fire inside of you. You wouldn't feel this pull if you weren't meant to answer it. You wouldn't feel this restlessness if you were supposed to stay where you are. So stop doubting yourself. Stop waiting for permission. Stop making excuses. That feeling inside of you, it's real, it's powerful, and it's proof that you are meant for more. The only question is, what are you going to do about it? The moment you decide to step up, to break free from the limitations that have held you back, you'll notice something strange happening. Suddenly, things that were once easy become challenging. People who once supported you start questioning you. Obstacles seem to come out of nowhere, making you wonder if you made the right decision. This is not a coincidence, it's a sign. The moment you begin to step into your true purpose, opposition will rise to meet you. Resistance is the clearest indicator that you are on the right path. Think about it. If you weren't carrying something valuable, why would anything try to stop you? The truth is, the more powerful your purpose, the greater the opposition you will face. This isn't meant to discourage you, it's meant to prepare you. Most people give up when they encounter difficulty. They assume challenges mean they're on the wrong path. But the reality is, challenges are proof that you're moving towards something worthwhile. Think of an airplane taking off. The wind doesn't push it down, it gives it the lift it needs to rise. Without resistance, there's no flight. The same principle applies to your journey. Every great person who has ever achieved something significant has faced resistance. Every visionary, every leader, every world changer has encountered opposition. They were ridiculed, doubted, and even betrayed, but they kept going. Why? Because they understood that resistance wasn't a stop sign. It was a sign that they were heading in the right direction. Let's talk about what this opposition looks like. First, you will face external resistance. People around you, sometimes even those closest to you, will start questioning your choices. They'll tell you to be realistic, to stop dreaming so big, to stay where it's comfortable. Not because they don't care about you, but because they don't understand what's inside you. They haven't felt the calling you felt. They don't see what you see. And that's okay. Your vision was given to you, not to them. You can't expect everyone to understand something they were never meant to carry. But external resistance is just the beginning. The real battle happens inside. The moment you decide to grow, your mind will start coming up with 1,000 reasons why you should stay where you are. Fear will creep in. Self-doubt will whisper that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not ready. You'll remember every failure, every time you tried and things didn't work out. Your past will try to convince you that you're not capable of stepping into something greater. This is where most people stop. They see resistance as confirmation that they should turn back. But the truth is, this is the moment that defines everything. This is the moment where you decide whether you will break through or break down. And here's what you need to know. Resistance doesn't show up to stop you, it shows up to test you. It shows up to see how badly you really want it. Because if you can be talked out of your calling, you were never going to fulfill it in the first place. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who never face opposition. They are the ones who refuse to let it stop them. They are the ones who take every setback as fuel, every challenge as a stepping stone, every doubt as motivation to push harder. They don't back down when things get difficult, they rise. So what do you do when you face resistance? First, recognize it for what it is, a sign that you're on the right path. Instead of letting it discourage you, Let it confirm that you are stepping into something bigger than yourself. Second, guard your mind. What you focus on will determine whether you push through or give up. If you feed your mind with doubt and fear, you'll shrink back. But if you fuel your mind with belief, with resilience, with an unshakable determination to keep going, nothing will be able to stop you. And finally, take action. Fear and resistance lose their power the moment you move forward despite them. The more you push through, the more momentum you build. Every challenge you overcome makes you stronger. Every step you take makes the next step easier. And before you know it, you're no longer being held back by resistance. You're using it to rise. So if you're facing unusual opposition right now, don't see it as a sign to quit. See it as confirmation that you are marked for something greater. The question is, will you let it break you or will you let it build you? There are moments in life when you look back at everything you've been through and realize that by all logic, you shouldn't even be here. The trials you've faced, the heartbreaks, the failures, the losses, any one of them could have been enough to break you. And yet, you're still standing. You're still pushing forward. You may have scars, you may have battle wounds, but you are still here. That is not an accident. That is not luck. That is proof that you are marked for something greater. Think about the things you've survived. The times when you felt like you had nothing left to give, yet somehow you found the strength to keep going. The moments when you were at your lowest, when it felt like the weight of the world was on your shoulders, but you still got up the next day and faced it. That is not weakness. That is resilience. That is power. And that is the clearest sign that you were not meant to be defeated by your struggles. You were meant to rise because of them. Most people look at hardships as a curse. They think that struggle means something is wrong, that setbacks mean they are failing. But what if I told you that the very things you thought would destroy you were actually shaping you? What if every challenge, every disappointment, every painful moment was actually preparing you for what's ahead? You don't go through the fire just to be burned. You go through the fire to be refined. Some of the strongest, most impactful people in history have been those who faced unimaginable adversity. They weren't the ones who had an easy path. They weren't the ones who had everything handed to them. No, they were the ones who were knocked down over and over again, but refused to stay down. The ones who took their pain and turned it into purpose. The ones who understood that survival is not just about making it through, it's about becoming stronger because of it. Look at your own life. The things you've been through have given you wisdom, perspective, and strength that you wouldn't have had otherwise. The pain you've experienced has given you compassion for others who are struggling. The obstacles you've faced have built a level of resilience in you that most people don't have. You are stronger than you think. You are wiser than you realize, and every challenge you have overcome is proof that you have a purpose greater than your pain. But here's the thing, just surviving is not enough. You weren't meant to just make it through life, constantly battling, constantly struggling. You were meant to take what you've learned, what you've endured, and use it to fuel your purpose. You didn't survive just to stay where you are. You survived because there is something greater ahead of you. The problem is, most people stop at survival. They settle for simply existing, thinking that as long as they are still standing, that's enough. But you are not like most people. You were not meant to just exist. You were meant to thrive. You were meant to take everything you've been through and use it as a foundation to build something greater. So what does that look like? It means refusing to let your past define you. It means recognizing that the pain you've endured is not meant to keep you stuck, but to push you forward. It means understanding that everything you have gone through has prepared you for what's next. And most importantly, it means making a decision right now that you will no longer just survive, you will step into the life you were meant to live. That starts with shifting your mindset. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Start asking, what is this teaching me? How can I use this? Instead of seeing your past as something that holds you back, start seeing it as something that has given you the tools to move forward. Your survival was not an accident. It was preparation. The truth is, you have already proven that you are strong. You have already proven that you can handle adversity. The fact that you are still here, still pushing, still striving for something more is all the proof you need. Now, it's time to take that strength and do something with it. You have survived what should have broken you. Now it's time to build the life you were meant for. The only question is, will you step into it or will you stay in survival mode? The choice is yours. There's something inside you that won't let you settle. No matter how much you try to convince yourself that you should be satisfied, that you should just be grateful for what you have, there's still a voice inside whispering, this isn't enough. You are meant for more. You've felt it for a long time. Maybe you've ignored it. Maybe you've tried to suppress it because the people around you don't understand. Maybe you've even told yourself that wanting more is selfish. But let's be clear, this isn't about greed. This isn't about chasing success for the sake of ego. This is about purpose. This is about the fact that deep down you know you are not meant for an average life. Look around. Most people settle. They accept a job they don't love. They stay in relationships that don't fulfill them. They go through life just trying to get by. And the scariest part? They convince themselves that this is just how life is supposed to be. They shrink their dreams to fit their reality instead of expanding their reality to match their dreams. But that's not you. You've tried to fit in with that mindset, but it doesn't work because you weren't built for mediocrity. You weren't designed to live a life that's just fine. You weren't put here to just exist. You were meant to create, to lead, to grow, and to make an impact. That fire inside of you, that feeling that won't go away, it's there for a reason. And here's the truth. Settling is a slow death. It's the death of passion, the death of dreams, the death of the life you are actually meant to live. Every time you ignore that voice telling you to reach for more, every time you convince yourself to stay where it's safe, a piece of you fades. And over time, if you let it, that feeling of purpose can disappear entirely. That's why you see so many people who have completely given up. They walk around numb, going through the motions, accepting a life that is far below what they were capable of. They weren't born that way. They let themselves become that way by settling, one compromise at a time. You can't let that happen. You have to make a decision. Do you listen to that voice inside of you, that drive that refuses to let you stay small? Or do you keep ignoring it and risk waking up one day realizing you wasted your potential? If you're waiting for permission to go after what you truly want, you're never going to get it. No one is going to come along and say, now is the perfect time. No one is going to give you a guarantee that it will work out. No one is going to hand you the life you dream of. If you want it, you have to go after it. You have to stop waiting for the right moment and start making the moment right now. So what does it actually take? First, it takes honesty. You have to be brutally honest with yourself about where you're settling. Are you in a career that doesn't fulfill you? Are you surrounding yourself with people who drain your energy instead of elevate you? Are you playing it safe because you're afraid of failure? If so, it's time to face it. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. Second, it takes courage. Walking away from mediocrity isn't easy. It requires you to step into the unknown. It requires risk. It requires a level of belief in yourself that might feel uncomfortable at first. But you have to ask yourself, what's the bigger risk, trying and failing or never trying and living with regret? And third, it takes action. Dreams without action are just wishes. It's not enough to want more. You have to start doing more. That means making different choices. That means getting uncomfortable. That means pushing yourself even when it feels scary. Every step you take out of your comfort zone is a step toward the life you were meant to live. The reality is, you already know you were meant for more. You wouldn't feel this way if you weren't. So the only question left is, what are you going to do about it? Because settling is easy, growth is hard. But the reward? Living a life that actually excites you. A life where you wake up every day knowing you're fulfilling your purpose. A life that inspires others to do the same. You have a choice right now. Will you continue to shrink yourself to fit into a life that doesn't fulfill you? Or will you rise, step into your potential, and refuse to settle for anything less than what you were meant for? The answer is yours to make. When you are truly marked for something greater, life will test you in ways that others don't understand. It's not just about facing difficulties. It's about the weight you carry, the battles you fight in silence, and the internal struggles that seem never ending. It often feels like you are being stretched beyond your limits, like you are being broken down just when you thought you were making progress. But here's what you need to understand. This is not happening to you. It's happening for you. Every great leader, every person who has made a lasting impact has walked through seasons where they felt isolated, overwhelmed, and misunderstood. The process of becoming who you are meant to be isn't easy. Growth demands discomfort. If you are being tested, it's because you are being prepared. And preparation isn't comfortable. It's painful. It requires sacrifice. It forces you to let go of what's familiar so you can step into what's meant for you. You may have noticed that your life is different from those around you. Others seem to move through life with ease, never questioning, never struggling, never feeling this deep internal pull towards something greater. And yet for you, there is always a battle. There is always a challenge, always something pushing you beyond what feels manageable. It can be frustrating. It can make you question whether you're even on the right path. But the truth is, you wouldn't be experiencing this kind of pressure if you weren't meant for something more. Think about a diamond. It doesn't become a diamond without extreme heat and pressure. Gold isn't purified without fire. The strongest warriors are not made in times of peace. They are forged in battle. What you are going through is not a punishment. It is preparation. Life is shaping you into the person you need to be for the impact you are destined to make. But here's the challenge. Most people break under the pressure. They give up too soon. They mistake the struggle as a sign that they should stop, instead of realizing that the struggle is proof that they are being strengthened. The people who succeed, the ones who truly fulfill their purpose, are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who refuse to quit, no matter how hard it got. You are going through what you're going through because there is something in you that is being refined. Maybe it's patience, maybe it's resilience, maybe it's the ability to lead others through their struggles because you've walked through your own. Whatever it is, trust that the process is necessary. Trust that this season of hardship is not the end of your story, it is the foundation of it. One of the hardest parts of this journey is that often the people around you won't understand. They will question why you keep pushing forward when it would be easier to settle. They will wonder why you don't just accept things as they are. But the reason they don't understand is because they were not given your vision. They don't feel what you feel. They don't see what you see, and that's okay. You are not meant to be understood by everyone. You are meant to walk your own path, even when it feels lonely. There will be moments when you want to quit, moments when you question everything, moments when the weight feels unbearable. But let me tell you something. You have survived 100% of your worst days. You have pushed through things that once felt impossible, and you are still here. That is not by accident. That is not random. That is proof that you are stronger than you realize. But strength alone is not enough. You have to make a decision. Will you let this process break you, or will you allow it to build you? Will you keep pushing forward even when it's hard, or will you let fear and exhaustion win? Because at the end of the day, your future is in your hands. The greatness inside you cannot be forced out. It has to be chosen. And here's the truth. The ones who are truly meant for more don't quit. They don't give in. They don't let circumstances dictate their destiny. They rise, they endure, they transform they recognize that every battle is not meant to destroy them, but to prepare them for what's coming next. So if you're feeling stretched, if you're feeling tested, if you're wondering why your path seems harder than everyone else's, know this. It's because you are being prepared for something greater. Keep going, keep pushing, because one day you will look back on this moment and realize that the struggle wasn't breaking you, it was building you. And when that day comes, you'll be grateful that you didn't give up. There comes a moment in your life when you realize that you are different, not in a way that makes you better than anyone else, but in a way that sets you apart. You see things differently. You feel things more deeply. You carry a weight that others don't seem to notice. And no matter how much you try to blend in, no matter how much you attempt to follow the crowd, something inside of you refuses to conform. You've tried to silence it, to push it down, to ignore it, but it never goes away. That's because you are marked for something greater. This isn't an easy path. Being marked means you can't just live an ordinary life. It means that while others are satisfied with mediocrity, you are constantly being pulled toward more. While others settle for what's comfortable, you are called to step into the unknown. You weren't meant to fit in. You weren't designed to follow the same path as everyone else. You were built to lead, to break barriers, to create something new. But with that calling comes responsibility. One of the biggest challenges of being marked is that it often means walking alone. People won't always understand your vision. They won't see the things you see. They won't feel the urgency that burns inside of you. And because of that, you may find yourself in seasons of isolation. You may lose relationships. You may outgrow certain environments. And it will be painful. You will question whether it's worth it. You will wonder if you should just go back to the way things were. But deep down, you know you can't. Growth requires separation. If you want to elevate, you have to be willing to leave behind the things that no longer align with who you are becoming. That doesn't mean you stop loving people. It doesn't mean you forget where you came from, but it does mean that you stop allowing yourself to be pulled back into a life that no longer fits you. This is where most people struggle. They feel the call, but they are afraid of what it will cost them. They don't want to lose friendships. They don't want to step into uncertainty. They want to grow, but they also want to hold on to everything that's familiar, and that's where they get stuck. You cannot step into a new season while still clinging to the old one. At some point, you have to choose, do you want comfort or do you want purpose? Because you can't have both. The road to greatness is not a smooth one. It's filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But every obstacle is there for a reason. It's shaping you. It's refining you. It's preparing you for the weight of the purpose you are stepping into. And the truth is, not everyone is built for this. That's why so many people give up. That's why so many people never reach their full potential. They hit resistance and they assume it's a sign to quit. But what they don't realize is that resistance is actually confirmation. It's proof that they are moving in the right direction. You have to be willing to embrace the process. You have to trust that every challenge, every setback, every painful moment is working for your good. There will be days when it feels like too much. There will be moments when you wonder if you're even capable of carrying the weight of what's ahead. But let me remind you of something. You wouldn't feel this calling if you weren't equipped to handle it. You wouldn't have this fire inside of you if you weren't meant to do something with it. So what do you do when the path gets hard, when the loneliness sets in, when the doubt creeps up? You keep going. You remind yourself that this journey is not just about you. It's about the people you are going to impact. It's about the legacy you are going to leave. It's about stepping fully into the life you were designed for. And the truth is, if you're marked, you can't run from it. You can try, but it will always find you. The pull will never go away. The vision will never stop chasing you. You can either resist it, live a life of frustration, and always wonder, what if? Or you can surrender to it, step into your power, and become everything you were meant to be. The choice is yours. But just know this, if you are feeling this call, if you know deep down that you were made for more, it's because you were. And it's time to stop doubting it. It's time to stop questioning whether you are capable. You are. It's time to step fully into your purpose. It's time to rise, because the world doesn't need another person who played it safe. The world needs you. Fully awakened, fully alive, fully walking in the greatness that you were always meant for.